11. Shocking discoveries. Inside the sunken ship that left archaeologists stunned. Have you ever imagined the horrifying mysteries that sunken ships at the bottom of the sea might hold? Forgotten shipwrecks from centuries ago are sometimes the treasure troves of strange and eerie stories that few dare to believe actually exist. When archaeologists excavate ancient shipwrecks, they don't just uncover valuable artifacts or treasures, but also face discoveries that shock them completely. Some of the things found inside shipwrecks could completely change our understanding of history, while terrifying mysteries make anyone brave enough to approach them shudder with fear. Can you imagine what secrets these sunken ships have been hiding for centuries? Do you believe some of these mysteries could change the way we understand the past? Let's explore the 11 mysterious and terrifying discoveries made inside shipwrecks that have left archaeologists stunned in today's video. I'm sure you won't be able to take your eyes off these finds. So, what are these discoveries? Let's get started now. 2,000-year-old human remains. According to an article published in Nature magazine on September 19th, an international archaeological team recently discovered a 2,000-year-old set of human remains in a shipwreck off the coast of Antikythera Island, Greece, in the Mediterranean Sea. The remains consist of part of a skull, 2 arm bones, several ribs, and 2 thigh bones. Archaeologists say that if they manage to collect any remaining DNA samples, they could potentially identify more specific characteristics of the individual. Furthermore, this remarkable discovery might help reveal many secrets about the famous merchant ship from the 1st century BC, which is believed to have sunk after encountering a major storm. Brendan Foley, an archaeologist at the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution in Massachusetts, commented that finding these remains is a rare occurrence, as bodies of shipwreck victims usually decompose or become prey for fish, making it unlikely for them to survive for decades, let alone centuries. To date, the Greek government has not allowed archaeologists to collect and analyze the DNA of the remains. But according to an initial assessment by ancient DNA expert Hannes Schroeder from the Natural History Museum of Denmark, these well-preserved remains likely belong to a young man. Schroeder also stated that if DNA samples could be obtained, they could reveal information about his hair color, eye color, and genetic origins. But unfortunately, this has not been possible so far. The shipwreck containing these remains is located about 164 feet underwater and was first discovered by divers in 1900. It remains the first shipwreck to capture the attention of archaeological research. $19 billion USD, treasure of gold and silver. On June 8, 1708, after a bloody battle with 4 British warships, the Spanish warship San Jose caught fire and sank to the ocean floor off the coast of Colombia. The ship, carrying a massive treasure of gold, silver, and precious jewelry, became one of the most famous shipwrecks in history. This treasure, estimated to be worth up to $19 billion USD at current gold and silver prices, was extracted from Peru and was intended to support Spain's war against Britain, alongside France. San Jose, often called the Holy Grail of shipwrecks, has become a symbol of treasures hidden beneath the sea. Along with its 600-person crew, the ship carried not only priceless artifacts, but also stories of war and survival. The treasure remained lost for over 300 years until the Colombian government decided to partner with the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution in 2015 to locate the wreck. Thanks to relentless efforts, the San Jose wreck was finally found at the end of 2015, marking a major milestone in archaeology and history. However, the discovery of the wreck did not conclude the story. A dispute over the ownership of the treasure quickly erupted between Spain and Colombia. Spain claimed ownership of the treasure because the ship was theirs, while Colombia argued that the treasure belonged to them since the wreck was located in their waters. Additionally, anthropologist Professor Talk Thompson presented another argument, suggesting that the gold and silver belonged to the Inca Empire and therefore might belong to Peru. However, treasure hunters and experts such as John Matera believe that the Colombian government has the strongest claim to ownership since the wreck lies within their territorial waters. What's particularly concerning is that, despite ongoing legal disputes at the time, the treasure of San Jose has not yet been salvaged. Meanwhile, the treasure is gradually being damaged and lost in the harsh, salty underwater environment. Truly unfortunate, isn't it? Victim remains under the Titanic wreck. More than a century has passed since the Titanic disaster claimed the lives of over 1,500 passengers, but the mysteries surrounding this legendary ship remain unsolved. However, recently, a photograph was publicly released for the first time during the 100th anniversary of the tragedy, drawing global attention. The photo shows a coat and pair of boots lying in the mud at the site of the Titanic wreck in the North Atlantic Ocean. Officials and experts believe that these items could be evidence suggesting the presence of victims' bodies still buried beneath the sea floor. James Delgado, Director of Maritime Heritage at the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, stated, "The way the coat and boots are positioned close to each other suggests that this may be the final resting place of a victim." He believes that remains could still exist inside parts of the shipwreck that have not yet been explored. However, this viewpoint has sparked controversy among experts. James Cameron, the director of the Titanic movie, who has participated in multiple explorations of the Titanic wreck, stated that he has never encountered human remains during these expeditions. Despite this, Delgado insists that the differing opinions among experts are simply a matter of semantics. As an archaeologist, he believes these images are evidence that the remains of Titanic victims may still be lying on the ocean floor, buried beneath layers of mud. The Titanic, the largest and most modern ship of its time, sank to the bottom of the North Atlantic Ocean after hitting an iceberg on April 15, 1912. While over 340 bodies were recovered, nearly 1,160 bodies were never found. This is one of the reasons why the Titanic remains a symbol not only of maritime disaster, but also of legal battles to protect its legacy. 500-year-old Sturgeon fossil. A remarkable archaeological discovery was recently announced by researchers from Lund University in Sweden concerning a nearly intact sturgeon found in the wreck of the Shudder, a famous Danish ship. This ship sank more than 500 years ago, in 1495, off the coast of Ronneby, which is now part of Sweden. The discovery has revealed many fascinating details about both history and the unique natural preservation factors in the area. Specifically, when excavating a wooden chest inside the Shudder wreck, archaeologists discovered the remains of a 6.5-foot-long sturgeon that had been remarkably well preserved. This is a rare find because in the natural conditions of the Baltic Sea, where oxygen levels are low, the decomposition of organic materials occurs very slowly. This creates an ideal environment for preserving artifacts, including the remains of this rare sturgeon. According to Brendan Foley, a maritime archaeologist at Lund University, the Shudder wreck has been well preserved due to the low salinity of the Baltic Sea and the seafloor's primarily fine clay composition, which protects organic materials from decay. Therefore, this discovery is not only unique from an archaeological perspective, but also provides valuable insights into a significant period in European history. The story of the Shudder is tied to King Hans of Denmark, who used the ship to carry out a crucial campaign to restore the Kalmar Union, the alliance of the three Scandinavian countries, Denmark, Sweden, and Norway. However, when the ship sank, King Hans was not aboard. The loss of one of the most powerful warships severely impacted his reputation and military strength, weakening Denmark's political and military position. Although the Kalmar Union continued after the shipwreck, about a quarter century later, in 1523, Sweden broke away, leading to the dissolution of the Union. Therefore, this discovery not only helps us understand a maritime disaster, but also provides valuable information about the political, economic, and cultural history of the Nordic region in the late 15th century. Amphora wine jars. In the Mediterranean Sea, off the coast of Palermo in Sicily, researchers have announced the discovery of an ancient Roman shipwreck dating back to the 2nd century BCE. The ship, found at a depth of 302 feet beneath the sea, was discovered with the help of an underwater robot. The first images sent back from the robot showed the ship carrying a large number of amphorae, which are characteristic clay jars used by the Romans to store wine, oil, and other products. According to Valeria Lee Vigny, the manager of the Sicilian Seas, this discovery is not only of great archaeological value, but also provides valuable information about maritime trade, Roman ships, and transportation methods. She stated, "The Mediterranean continues to offer valuable elements for reconstructing history. helping us better understand life aboard ships and the relationships between coastal communities. Because of this, the discovery of the Roman shipwreck attracted significant attention from Sicilian authorities at the time, with many considering it one of the most important archaeological finds in recent years. Additionally, earlier this year, Sicilian archaeologists discovered another Roman shipwreck at a depth of about 230 feet near Ustica Island. This ship, too, carried a massive amount of amphorae, further proving the strong development of the wine trade during the Roman era. Of course, this is not the first time archaeologists have found Roman ships in this region. In 2013, an almost intact Roman ship, also from the 2nd century BCE, was discovered at a depth of 164 feet off the coast of Genoa, about 1 mile from Alassio. This discovery provided profound insights into the commercial journeys and cultural exchanges of the Romans across the Mediterranean Sea. Giant cannon in 17th century warship wreck. Recently, Historic England announced an important discovery related to the wreck of the Dutch warship Klein Hollandia, found off the southern coast of England. The wreck lies at a depth of 105 feet near the resort town of Eastbourne. Although it was discovered in 2019 by a local diving operator, the identification of the ship was only completed through the cooperation of Historic England, the UK Maritime Archaeology Society, and the Dutch Cultural Heritage Agency. The Klein Hollandia holds significant historical value. It was built in 1656 and participated in major battles during the Second Anglo-Dutch War from 1665 to 1667. However, in 1672, while on a journey from the Mediterranean back to the Netherlands, the ship was unexpectedly attacked by a British squadron and severely damaged. After the attack, the Klein Hollandia immediately sank, taking with it many sailors from both the British and Dutch crews, including the ship's commander, Jan van Ness, who was killed in the battle. This attack became a key event leading to the Third Anglo-Dutch War, part of a series of naval conflicts from 1652 to 1784 over control of trade and colonies. According to Historic England, the condition of the Klein Hollandia wreck is remarkable and could provide a wealth of information about Dutch shipbuilding techniques in the 17th century, as well as the operations of warships during its final voyage. The research team has collected and analyzed many materials from the seabed, including the ship's wooden hull, a giant cannon, marble bricks, and Italian ceramics. They also conducted tree ring analysis of wood samples and examined archival documents to identify the ship. However, the information we know about the ship is still limited, and many mysteries remain. It may take a long time before archaeologists can fully analyze and publish more details about this find. 17th century weapon cache. In 2005, during a survey of the wreck of the British warship HMS Sussex, treasure hunters discovered an intriguing mystery at the bottom of the sea between Spain and Morocco: the remains of a 46-foot pirate ship used for capturing slaves. This was the first discovery of a pirate ship in the central region of the Barbary Coast, once home to the infamous pirates of history. The discovery was thoroughly researched and published in the journal Wreckwatch, sparking curiosity about this dark period in maritime history. Marine archaeologist Sean Kingsley explained that the ship was likely equipped with many heavy weapons and tasked with capturing slaves, especially along Spain's coastline. However, this ship also had a distinctive feature. It was carrying goods like pots and pans produced in Algiers, North Africa. This was likely a camouflage strategy to pose as a merchant ship and deceive other vessels. This type of pirate ship, common in the 17th and 18th centuries, was designed to sail and row, making it easy to mistake for local fishing boats. This allowed pirates to launch surprise attacks on merchant ships, particularly along the Mediterranean and Atlantic coastlines. After sinking in the Strait of Gibraltar, the ship retained many weapons, including 4 large cannons, 10 smaller cannons, and an ornate telescope, reflecting the advanced technical skills of Barbary pirates at the time. Barbary pirates, mostly Muslim, began their activities in the 15th century, mainly from Algiers, a region under the Ottoman Empire. These pirates became a long-standing menace, seizing ships and capturing slaves along the European coastline. The captured individuals were often sold as slaves in North African slave markets, where they endured a life of oppression under their masters. However, the rise of wars, such as the Barbary Wars, ended this era of piracy by the early 19th century. With this discovery, we not only gain a deeper understanding of the dangers posed by Barbary pirates, but also appreciate the cunning and ferocity of their attack strategies. The artifacts and weapons found on the wreck are clear evidence of a dark chapter in maritime history, one that is impossible not to admire for the strength and audacity of those pirates. 19th century Champagne. Last week, a team of Polish divers made a serendipitous discovery of a treasure beneath the Baltic Sea, about 23 miles south of Åland Island. The brackish waters of the Baltic are famous for being the site of over 100,000 shipwrecks throughout history, making it an attractive destination for divers and marine archaeologists. The wrecks in this region not only tell fascinating historical stories, but also hold valuable assets that have been buried for centuries. The ship discovered by the diving team is believed to be a merchant vessel that sank long ago. However, what was surprising was the ship's hold, which was filled with bottles of champagne, mineral water, and porcelain. According to Tomasz Stachura, the leader of the Baltic Tech diving team, this was the first time he had encountered a wreck with such a large quantity of goods. He shared, "I've been diving for 40 years, and usually we only find 1 or 2 bottles on each wreck, but this time we found hundreds of bottles of champagne and mineral water." This fascinating story began with the team's curiosity. Over the years, they had explored shipwrecks simply out of passion for uncovering underwater history. Upon discovering this ship, the divers quickly recognized several important details that helped them date the wreck to the late 19th century. The clay bottles of mineral water, along with the distinctive logo of the German company Selters, were valuable clues in identifying the period and origin of the ship. The divers immediately notified Swedish authorities about the discovery, but recovering the champagne bottles would not be easy. The ship has been resting there for 170 years, so the team decided to leave it undisturbed for a while. This gave them more time to prepare for a more thorough recovery operation. As you can see, this discovery is not just an interesting coincidence, but it may also open up many opportunities for deeper research into a forgotten part of history beneath the Baltic Sea. Rare pink handfish, found in the SS Tasman wreck. During an expedition to explore the wreck of the SS Tasman off the coast of Tasmania, divers were amazed to discover a pink handfish, Brachyopsilus dianthus, a critically endangered species. This fish was hiding among the wreckage and coral, with its wide pectoral fins extended, resembling outstretched hands. This was an incredibly rare discovery, as the pink handfish was first identified in 1947, and very few people have encountered them since. The SS Tasman was a steamship built in 1873 that was used for transporting cargo and passengers. It met its fate after striking an uncharted coral reef near Hippolyte Rocks. The accident caused the ship to sink, but fortunately, 29 passengers and crew members survived, leaving behind 75 cattle on board. The dive took place at a depth of 230 feet, with a time limit of 25 minutes before the divers had to return to the surface. While exploring the wreck, Brad Turner, a member of the dive team, was the first to spot the pink handfish. Turner shared, "We came to study the wreck, but the handfish caught everyone's attention. The magic of the expedition was heightened when, after finishing the dive, the team unexpectedly discovered another handfish just 33 feet away from the first, adding to the marvel of the experience." The pink handfish, Brachyopsilus dianthus, is one of 4 rare handfish species at risk of extinction in Tasmania. A distinguishing feature of this species is that they lack a swim bladder to regulate buoyancy, so they typically stay close to the seafloor and can only swim short distances. Thus, discovering 2 Brachyopsilus dianthus in the same dive not only marked a significant success in marine biology research, but also emphasized the importance of protecting these endangered species. The enormous treasure from the Silk Road era. An astonishing archaeological discovery was recently made on the floor of the South China Sea, where archaeologists recovered treasures from the Ming Dynasty, dating back to 2 shipwrecks centuries old. Specifically, on June 13th, while excavating the wrecks, the camera of the submersible Deep Sea Warrior captured this remarkable moment. This is one of the largest excavations in the journey to uncover the mysteries beneath the deep sea, an area historically known as the Silk Road, the legendary trade route connecting ancient civilizations. The excavation began in 2022 when archaeologists discovered the wrecks of 2 ships at a depth of over 4,921 feet near the northwestern continental slope of the South China Sea. After a year of research and excavation, nearly 1,000 cultural artifacts were recovered from these ships, including porcelain, ceramics, copper coins, and deer antlers, all dating back to the Ming Dynasty, 1368–1644. The discovery of these artifacts not only proves the prosperity of the Ming era, but also affirms that the South China Sea was once a crucial trade route in history. Notably, one of the ships carried goods like wood, silk, and turbans, while the other mainly transported porcelain and ceramics. Even more fascinating is the fact that the 2 wrecks are only 12 nautical miles apart, a relatively short distance, yet they reveal a rich story about the maritime trade journeys of that time. So, we've explored the mysteries and terrifying artifacts discovered in shipwrecks together. These findings not only change history, but also bring with them strange and eerie stories that are beyond imagination. What do you think about these treasures? Are there other secrets that we haven't uncovered yet? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the next exciting discoveries. For now, goodbye and see you next time.